Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Yes, this is the Female Solution. Grand Rising. I'm Naima Latif, your Wednesday host for the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. As always, we are delighted to bring you uplifting information that will inspire you. We have such wonderful creative artists, people who are expounding on our creative abilities, presenting talent and skills to uplift us and keep us in a state of joy. Our guest today is one such person, Mys Michelle, who'll be joining us to talk about an upcoming Mother's Day fantastic production that you don't want to miss here in Chicago. Now, those of us who are old enough or maybe young enough to remember groups like the Temptations from the 70s and 80s, and those were the sounds that marked our childhood. Music holds memory. And whenever we hear a song or see a performance by a group, we're brought back to those times. Those were some good times. And those were a time when many artists were able to use the power of their influence, of their celebrity status, as well as their ability to entertain, to inspire, to move people, to even raise money for notable causes. So we honor and salute those artists of a very important time in our history in this nation, a time of transformation when so many people were recognizing the power that they have with their own creative skills to transform a mindset, to inspire young people to achieve, to build institutions. Much has been created by our artists in terms of the financial developments, the success, and also even the aspirations to higher controls of their creative skills, the production companies, and all of the industries that came out of an era where people were feeling their power. So we salute all of those artists from a very important era. And we salute those today who are giving a message, the storytellers through music, those who can sing a song that plants a memory and allows us to hold that memory with that song, and that artist who represents the best of us, the highest ideals, the integrity, and all that we desire and aspire to as a people and as a human family. Music brings people together in a way that so few things can do. And it also defines an experience, a history, a language, a culture. And so we're grateful for all of those artists who, during an era of evolution and revolution, were able to put words to music in a way that told our story. So whenever we pay tribute to an era and a time and the artists that mark that time, it's a special way of holding on to our history and projecting into the future even greater ascendance into an empowerment that comes when people's minds, hearts, and spirits are free. So we're excited to bring our guest today. And we're also excited to bring you more information about an upcoming event this July when a number of exciting artists are going to pay tribute and bring their musical skills to the stage of DuSable Museum of Black History, honoring people from across the globe who have used their talents and their skills to promote humanitarian causes. They have been able to achieve a status that allows them to be named doctor. I'll be among those who are being presented with an honorary doctorate this July 19th. And I'm pleased to be among those who have earned that title with their life's work. This is an event that's going to feature some amazing artists, and we'll be telling more about that as our show progresses. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate life. It's time to celebrate achievement. It's time to celebrate victory. In these times when so many people are feeling fear and dread, we have to remember not only where we've been, but what we've overcome and how our creative energy has always triumphed over adversity. So when we celebrate our achievements, it's to remind us that nothing is insurmountable. These are times of joy because even as what we're facing appears to be uncertainty, it's really a time of evolution to higher ground. It's bringing out the best of us so that the rest of us can remember who they are. We are all expressions of the divine energy of creation we call God. And there's nothing we can't do. And there's so much that we have done. And so much that we've achieved has been achieved with the soundtrack of music, because music holds memory. And so this is why with many of our celebrations come our creative artists, bring us a song that captures a moment and plants it in our minds. Well, those who are able to produce such events are very key to the preserving of our culture. And this is why we are so pleased to be able to introduce to you such producers of events that bring us joy and remind us of our triumph through the arts, through our music, through our dance, and through our intellectual achievements. There's nothing we can't do, and we never should be afraid of the future because our past is so great. These are the times when we can speak to the entire world and we can all rise together. So let us never fear, because greater times are here. And now we want to greet our global family as we prepare to bring on our guest this morning, Mys Michelle, who's going to tell us about a wonderful musical tribute that will recall a special time in our lives as we prepare to celebrate Mother's Day. We'll be right back after this quick break, and let us greet our global family listening all across the world. era. And now let's greet our global family, listening from all around the world.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you. Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. You can give us a call at 727-731-5192. And if you are watching on our Facebook or YouTube channel, you can write in your comments. Of course, you can make sure you like our Facebook page so you can get notices when we're live, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get those notices when we go live every day of the week. So this is an opportunity for you to meet another exciting person. And we want to bring to center stage, let her tilt down a little bit so we don't cut your head off there. And we want to make sure that you are ready for an exciting event coming up this May. If you remember the era of music that really set us on fire, this will be a wonderful time to reminisce. So let us bring to center stage Mys Michelle of Vibe Music Live with a Mother's Day Temptations tribute. Grand Rising! Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, I'm excited because this was my era. You know, I remember the Temps and all of those people. And, you know, it's exciting because music never gets old. And even young people, they're listening to the sounds of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and they're understanding a bit of what we went through to really transform this nation. So tell us, what was it that inspired you to put together a show like this?
Well, thank you for having me, Naima. I really, really appreciate it and the platform. Um, Hi, viewers.
Hey,
So, I've been singing my entire life. My entire adult life has been nothing but music, and I'm watching it change. Like in real time, I got to experience what my mom gave us. Then I got to experience my highlights, the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Now we're in 2025, and I just don't recognize the sound of music anymore. Um, it breaks my heart as a musician that I feel like we have lost music etiquette in some ways. And I would like to take us back to a time where we understood what it took to actually be a musician. I want to resurrect the sound of music. And that's what it is for me. So the Temptations was actually inspired by my partner Michael Kennedy, who does the rendition very well. So instead of doing it himself, we decided to get a group and a team of people together, um, that can be able to bring that element truly to life. So we have a choreographer, Ruben Eccles, who is taking care of the movements and really putting us in place, putting us back into the essence of that time. Even the room that we're going to be in speaks to the essence of that time.
Yes. Well, that's an exciting thing because when I think about what happened, especially when it comes to the music and how it changed, we even feel that. We feel so much that the lyrics got more vulgar, and it no longer was connected to something higher, a higher purpose, such as, well, we know a lot of our music during that era was connected to the civil rights music. And it was also something that kind of told our story to people abroad who didn't understand what was happening. And this is a critical thing when you look at music etiquette and the fact that I don't think our young people are being taught the responsibility of keeping the culture and being able to define a people with your art. So what you're doing is very critical, especially because it isn't being openly talked about in a way that young people can understand why we get so upset, why we get distressed when there are lyrics that are inappropriate or talking about things in a way that degrades us, because our music didn't used to be that way. So we are grateful that you have put together a show that honors those artists from that era.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry if you couldn't see me before. I'm on my phone and it rang, and I
At
apologize.
least say you
Yes,
now.
I apologize. So, what I want to say to that is that you said something before you introduced me, and it was something about dance, right? You
Mm,
said we don't want to lose, the shape of dance. And that's kind of the same thing with music for me. If you do dance without being able to making the circles or the triangles or the shapes, then you lose a lot of the essence of dance. And with music, I feel like we've lost a lot of music's shape, its form. The fact that a lot of us, and I don't get me wrong, I do believe that we can still be great without being actual musicians and still call ourselves a musician. But if you don't have any foundation, you know that's when I feel like things get lost and get taken advantage of, and we only do it because we can, not because we have um, information behind it. I remember there was a day and age you couldn't hear a curse word on the radio, and
mm,
now that's all that they play. When I watched the Grammys last year, or was it this year, I was gravely disappointed in the fact that I wasn't even inspired to finish. And I just want to, Quincy Jones is a great inspiration of mine. And I feel like a lot of people, and you hear me keep saying that I feel, and I'm only saying that because it's personal. So, being a musician who was taught and raised to rehearse, who was raised to be diligent, who was raised to be the best in any space that I choose to occupy, I think our industry is incredibly lazy now. And what it's taking to do this show puts into effort what we've lost for a long time now, what I feel is lost for a long time now. So I want to do something that my mom will be proud of, even though she's not with me anymore. I want to do something that my mentors will be proud of and that my children will be proud of as well. And
mm. Yes. Well, I think that that's a critical thing. We look at our parents being proud of what we do, our children want to be proud. They want we want them to be proud of what we do. But like you said, there was a time when you didn't hear all the profanity and the vulgarity in our art,
Yeah,
our music, our
they
lyrics.
kept it sacred. They
Yeah,
kept it a sacred thing, and now it's just loosely handled, and they're trying to rock with whatever sells. But sometimes you have to put integrity above all of that noise. And go
yeah.
ahead. I
So
see a thought.
I guess my question is, how do we teach our young artists to have integrity with their creativity? Because they're being applauded if they make a lot of money, regardless
Yes,
of what they have to do to do it.
yes,
So how do we raise the standard back to where it was, where you had integrity? You didn't just put your name on anything. You didn't just do or say anything or spew vulgarity out
yes,
because you had pride in who you are. How do we instill artists with that kind of pride?
yes. I think what you said earlier, they're not being taught, and we are lazy leaders. We because we kind of fold into that narrative as well, where we're just deep diving into the success of whatever sells. Let's just say, for instance, a wedding band, right? A wedding band goes out, and what do? Our job is to simply and solely give the client what they're paying for.
Mm,
That's it. No questions asked, no boundaries. Well, we set boundaries because there are just some things I will not do. But
yeah.
you know, if you don't have that boundary set for yourself, you will be loosely handled, and you will handle yourself loosely.
Mm.
So
So, well, one of the things that I hear a lot in bringing this kind of thing up, and I will say to artists, well, don't you want to have a little more integrity about yourself? Well, if I don't do it, somebody will. I might as well be the one to get paid. How do we get past that kind of philosophy?
teaching, being
Mm,
the example, being willing to take that person by the hand, even in the state that they're in, and offer them grace and yourself grace as a leader, because no one is perfect and no one has ever got the journey right. So I think that we need to take our youth by the hand and be real leaders. We need to not get so tired as easily. I remember when I first, the thing that made me feel like I made a mistake with my children is when I felt sorrow so deeply that I felt like I needed to course correct by taking away discipline. I needed to course correct by taking away, what's the word? Um, the thing that makes them feel a loss. We want to coddle, we want to babysit, and we want them to feel like everything is always going to be great job, but it's not. We have to be willing to stay in those hard and tough spaces.
mm,
We've spoiled our next generation by not trying to be as hard as our parents were. But there was a reason why they were as hard as they were. There was a reason why I got the discipline and the teachings that I got. If my mom would have let me go sooner than she did, I don't know what I would be.
mm,
I think that because she held me, and not holding me in a way that babysits me, but held me in a way that just led me. And
mm,
if I was wrong, the correction was there without the but it'll be okay. No, it won't be okay if you keep it up.
mm,
Won't be okay. And we need to give them the real of life, because there are so many people crying over the fact that life is what it is, but really it's just adulthood.
mm. That's right. And we got to
It's just
prepare them for
adulthood.
adulthood.
But
Yeah.
our backs, our spine is like jelly now. We don't know how to stand tall when things get tough.
Mm,
We only know what it feels like to be celebrated. We only know. So then, when somebody is criticizing your artistry, when someone is criticizing you as a person, you go into a full fledged
you take
depression.
it. Yeah.
You have no foundation about yourself, no standards about yourself, no mentors, no leaders, and you don't have anything to grab a hold of to stabilize yourself. So you
Mm,
fold and you move with the wind, and opposed to being rooted.
yes.
If you're not rooted, you will blow and fall and go wherever the wind takes you.
That is
Because the
true.
reason why people can sell us dreams of money and success is because they can be butt stark
Yes.
naked.
Yeah.
And that's what sells.
Yes.
And it's not even
Yes.
the talent, it's just they bodied up, and that moves records. Or they're talking about a common thing. There is more than one way to skin a cat. And so here's me making an effort to do that.
Mm. Well, that's a powerful effort that you've made, and we're grateful that you're setting a standard because we really do need to remind our artists that they have a greater purpose. And I look at these artists that are being portrayed with this event. They were coming along during a time when we were standing for something and we were evolving as a people in this nation. So our artists need to have some integrity and some dignity because they represented us. And I
Yes,
think that's what's being lost with many of the artists today. Yes, they're making money, but like you say, whatever sells, whatever vulgarity sells, however you depict people, the whole depiction of us as a people as degenerate. It's
yes,
coming through our artists and they're being paid by those who enjoy seeing that. And we don't know how to help people who are being exploited that way to see that they're being used.
yes.
So this is momentous being able to represent that era. So how did you find the artists that are part of this production?
I love these artists. These are my friends. So we have Slick J. Adams, Willie Taylor, Greg Stewart, J-Mo Laurice, and Jeff Hughes as the Temptations. And they are learning full-fledged choreography, psychedelic shack. Guess what? It's going to be so amazing. And Ruben Eccles is their choreographer. And then, so as dinner's being served, just to get the crowd warmed up, we're going to have DJ Wildchild and Just Niche during dinner, and also rooftop and bar. Um, and then you're gonna have Pastor Ray Beatty as Pastor Ray Beatty and Opal Staples as Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. You're gonna have Kia Trammell as Nancy Wilson. You're gonna have as Danny Boy as Donnie Hathaway, and myself, Miss Michelle, as Gladys Knight. So um, just bringing back that era and the due diligences of sound and what it took to be an artist and produce that type of music at the time. And honestly, doing it, it's been a lot of work, but it's been well worth it and so gratifying. And I'm learning a lot myself as a musician who is inspiring to just be founded in something bigger than myself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ah,
yes. Well, it looks
shout
like
out to
it's going to be
Joe
a.
Global who did my plugger for me. I appreciate him.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a really fabulous event, and I'm excited. Opal Staples, she's one of my favorite singers, and her
Ah,
family.
yes.
The Staples family represents a lot for the movement for our people, and I know she was one that was raised with integrity. So
Yes.
just that
Yes.
Staples name that means a lot because they created the songs that inspired us and
Yes.
defined us. So that's what I would want to see our artists get to that point where they know that they're doing more than singing. Uh,
Yes.
we talk about the ancient griots who used to tell stories to music and they would be able to tell our history
Yes.
and do it with a song and a rhythm. Well,
Yes.
this is what our performing artists are. So when they realize the tremendous responsibility that they have, then they have to look at some of these lyrics that they're being asked to speak or sing and say, is that really what I want my children and grandchildren to remember me by? Saying things like that.
Yes. And then they're putting these situations in mega platforms. The the inauguration, the the award shows, like everything. And it saddens my heart tremendously to see how far off track we are, musically. Um, I really wish Quincy Jones was still alive to kind of give us some nuggets, still like to this generation to really rear where we're headed musically. Um, I'm not saying that everybody is off track, and I'm not even down in but I'm grateful to have the people in my life that I have. Actually, one of the gentlemen that's on the show, Pastor Ray Beatty, is my mentor. And when I first started touring, I toured with him. And he was the same as my mother, drilled practice into us, drilled spiritual foundation into us, drilled discipline, you know, and know that nothing that we can do, nothing that we'll do ever come will ever come without hard work. Nothing that we can ever be successful at will ever come without hard.
That's true.
Because
That
we do live in a world with instant gratification wins, and
yeah,
I would appreciate the instant gratification, but if I got it knowing that I did my job and I did it well, I would love that even more.
right. That's when you appreciate it. We're gonna take another break and come right back. And I'd like to ask you about the process. If people want to get involved with your company, if they have an artist that they do, how can they be a part of what you do? We'll talk about that when we come back. And you're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We're here with Mys Michelle, who's presenting a Mother's Day Temptations tribute. So
Yeah.
we will be right back after this quick break. So you stick and stay, don't stray away. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and our guest today is Mys Michelle, and she's got a fabulous Mother's Day tribute coming up with some artists' impressions that you want to see because they're going to bring back some powerful memories. Yes, and we're excited because we always appreciate those artists who mean something to our history. So
Yes.
I know I've seen a number of some of our classic artists portrayed by young performers. If someone wants to be a part of these kinds of productions, how do they get involved? Do take them through an audition, or do they send you a video? How does that work?
Oh yes, actually, our next production that we're going to be doing, Tina Turner, Queen, and Aerosmith is going to. We are definitely going to have auditions for that, and people can log on to our website vibemusiclive.com to get more information. That will be posted right before our Mother's Day tribute uh, right before our Mother's Day tribute production. So audition dates and everything, because that production will be held in May. I'm sorry, in July. So For these type of productions, they can just log onto our website to get more information, more details, vibemusiclive.com.
All right. Fabulous. Fabulous.
And
Well,
also to buy tickets.
yes, yes, definitely. So to buy tickets to this event, go to vibemusiclive.com.
Yes.
And, these are the kind of shows that we want to introduce to our young people
Yeah.
who maybe they can get a better understanding of what the arts are supposed to represent,
Yes.
seeing the kind of classic music that is coming from artists like the Temptations. And the Temptations, they span several decades. And they had several groups of Temptations, and of course
Still a group. There's still
there's
a group.
still a
Bishop
group. There's
Otis
still a
Williams
group.
is still alive.
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. Something popped on my phone about all the various people
Yes.
who have transitioned, but the original founder is still alive and still a group. And there's a specific sound that they have that they maintain, even with other voices. The choreography that
Yes.
was part of the whole thing, which means you really had to have some dance skills as well as some singing skills.
Yes.
But this was an era that was very special. Now,
Yes.
I know that there are a lot of people who may not have had formal training in terms of voice or dance. How does one get into this business if they just have a natural talent? Is is there a way? Are there companies that can kind of be willing to
We
coach
are
them?
living in the era of the internet,
Hmm.
of social media. So if I said anything right now, consistency, get good with with not being like me because I'm horrible with social media, but stay consistent in your postings. Make sure that you're sharing your talent. Don't be hidden. You have to be seen, out of sight, out of mind. I don't care who you are or how popular you are. Right now, if you go off grid, people will start singing someone else's name.
Hmm.
So consistency, showing your face, not hiding your talent. You have to show off.
Ah, yes.
You have to show off. You have to be the best. You have to be your best self in the spaces you choose to occupy. And if music is something that you want to be in, shy ain't the way.
Yeah, got to be
Humble it is,
bold.
but shy is not the way.
Yes,
You have
absolutely.
to be willing to be a show off to a
Yeah,
certain degree. And it's not even being a show off, it's just showing your talent and letting
yeah.
people know that you exist, and so does your skill.
Oh, that's right. So put it out there. We've got some comments here. And,
Yes.
yes, of course, we just love our audience. Make sure you're write in your comments if you're watching and call in and you can, if you're by your phone, you
Hi,
can
John.
add your comments. Absolutely. And she says, Grand Rising Queens, John Baptiste is one musician who is on track and creating beautiful music.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is.
yes.
Yes,
And
he is.
that's what artists should want to be remembered for. What they created is not
Yes.
just what your bankroll is, because you can make money doing all kinds of things, good and not so good. But people are going to remember if you touched their hearts, if you inspired people, if you were able to create some lyrics that really captured a feeling. They're going to remember that, and they're going to use your music as the soundtrack of their lives. So
Yes.
this is how
Yes.
important it is to mean something and to stand for something. So now with this tribute, and of course there are many groups from that era, but the Temptations, the ones that are portraying these, were they already, you know, perhaps portraying these artists?
Oh, yes. These are well established artists that travel and tour on their own, have their own bands, have their own groups. Everyone on my in my catalog has records out. As a matter of fact, Akia Trammell just released her album, I believe, yesterday.
Mm.
and which is absolutely beautiful. So please go check her out. Um, and she's on our show as Nancy Wilson.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, so everyone has a resume out of this world. Even myself, toured with Smokey Norfolk for 8 years, BB and CC Winans for 2.5 years, the Clark sisters. Um, Even recently, I got a chance to perform with oh God, T Pain and Erica Campbell, and so I'm grateful for the journey that God has bestowed upon me. Um, but yeah, everyone is already trained to do this. Willie Taylor was he was one of the singers in Day 26, which I believe is still a band. Um, you have Ray Beatty, who was an artist. Um, I believe gospel centric, if I'm not mistaken, when I was touring with him. And he was a great mentor for me spiritually and musically. I learned a lot from him and Percy Beatty. Um, J-Mo Laurice just released a record. Everyone on my Slick J Adams just released a record. Everyone on my roster is well established and have years in this skin in the game long beyond my asking.
Hmm.
So it's a bunch of professionals coming together to make one beautiful event happen.
I
And
well,
all of us are feeling the same way about it. Like, oh my God, so it's one thing to listen to the music, and then it's another thing to have to involve yourself in it, digest it, and really
mm,
like listen to everything that's happening, and then watching some of the clips from back in the day to just really get the true essence of these people. It's an amazing journey that we are all on, and all of us are learning a lot, and we're getting closer as family friends in along in this journey. So I'm grateful for each step that it's taking, and it's scary.
yes. Well, you actually, I mean, in a lot of ways, you're blazing a trail. Just doing this kind of an event, it encourages more people to set these kinds of standards,
Yeah.
to bring
So
back that era where, as you say, musicians had integrity. The lyrics were something that you weren't embarrassed to listen to around your children or your parents.
you ain't
And
gotta hide. You ain't gotta hide, Clyde. Come on out. Come on out, Clyde.
yes. So I think anytime someone does something with excellence, it inspires other people to strive for that same excellence. So when we set high standards, then that raises the bar for everybody in the industry. And that's what we want to see. We want to see the work that we do continue to be that standard of excellence. Now, are there artists who are mentoring or willing to mentor some of the young up and coming talent so that they don't make mistakes? Number one, with a lot of the legal things, like make sure your music is copyrighted so that you always get your earned royals and residuals and that kind of thing, or any other kinds of things that an artist needs to know so they don't get taken advantage of in this industry? Are there people who are maybe mentoring, or organizations that are providing some kind of mentoring for young artists?
Now, mentoring organizations, I'm not sure of. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some out there, but you kind of got to find the best fit and make sure that it aligns with your values. And when you
Yes.
see somebody that you like, make a conscious effort to get in front of their face. Make a conscious effort to be seen, make a conscious effort to speak out and speak up. And you got to create, from my thinking, is create a foundation for yourself where people feel like they can teach you. Be a teachable person. Be willing to ask questions. Even if a person isn't gravitating towards you as a mentor, you see what meat you can take off those bones, and you eat what nourishes you and spit out what don't.
Mm. I like that saying. Yes.
My mama used to say, eat the meat and spit out the bones,
Get
baby.
out the bones. That's right. Take what's good for you. Get rid
Yes,
of the rest. Get rid of the
yes.
rest. Well, yeah, that's with any part of life. You need to take the good and throw away the bad. So that's a lesson to be learned. So now we're going to take one last break, but when we come back, I'd like to know more about your vision for where you want to take this show, some of the upcoming places you all may be, some of the upcoming artists that may be part of this tribute. We've got a lot of classic people that are being portrayed, and I know of entertainers who are also doing music from that era that
Yes.
we want to expand on the production. So we'll come back and we'll talk more about this upcoming wonderful Mother's Day musical tribute. And we want to make sure that you all get your tickets because we want you to be present at the Temptations tribute on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 11th. And tell us the days, tell us the times for those two performances that people can get their tickets to attend.
Yes.
Yes.
So the site again is vibemusiclive.com. We have a matinee show as well as a sunset show. I'm excited about both. But the sunset show, I love the city lights because we're going to be on rooftop. You can, there's a 3 p.m. show, and then there is a 7 p.m. show. 3 p.m. show doors open at 2:30. Um, and then you're going to come to the rooftop, and then you're going to enjoy the scenery, the classy and classic timeless feel that you'll have, the dinner as well as the comic until the show starts. And then I am so excited. I am so excited. So
Yes,
yes, we have two
it's
times.
going to
It's
be
on the
great.
same day though, sunset
Yeah.
and matinee.
All right. Well, you got
Yes.
to make one of them. But we'll be right back with the last few minutes. And feel free to write in your comments. And you can, of course, call in 727-731-5192 because we want to hear from you. And we'll be right back after this last break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be right back. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, along with Mys Michelle of Vibe Music Live. And you can go to vibemusiclive.com to get your tickets for this upcoming performance. And you want to be there at Mother's Day, Sunday, May 11th. And you can go to the matinee show at 3 p.m. or the sunset show at 7 p.m. And that's at the Penthouse, Hyde Park, 5107 South Blackstone Avenue. And that's Hyde Park, Chicago. Be there for the Temptations tribute. It's a wonderful time to enjoy life and reminisce and hear the wonderful sounds of the Temps as portrayed by some very talented artists. Take your mother, or if you're a daughter, take your daughter, take your mother, take your sister, take your brother, take somebody.
Now, here's the other part. Even if you ain't a mother, and I know it's on Mother's Day, but it's still a great show to just come. One of
Yes,
the things you
anyway.
said earlier is down memory lane. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I want to do is resurrect the nostalgia for some of our families. Create
Yeah.
a conversation that we can have at the dinner tables with our mom, with our father, with our children. I want dinner table conversations amongst the
Mm.
entire family. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
Yes. And I think that's an important thing because a lot of the things that the music brings back in terms of an era, it brings back that whole era of reclaiming our pride in ourselves, our pride in our heritage, our pride in our creativity, our culture. So that was an era of being reborn almost. And I think having those kinds of conversations after watching that show, it may help young people think about, well, what happened? What changed? How did it change? And then get into some realistic things, some history that they need to know. How impactful was the drug culture that was suddenly dropped on our community, and how disruptive that was, and how we have to come out of that in order for our artists to reflect a healthier attitude. So things don't just happen by accident. They happen when we're not paying attention, and we have to redirect where we're going to go
Yes.
with our creative arts. So where do you see your production going? What are some of your goals, your visions, and ways you'd like to influence the direction of
And
the future?
what I would like to see, of course, growth, but I want to, like you were asking about the mentorship, and I want to help develop artists. I want to help be one of those bridges that create opportunities for our youth and our high school students, our college students, and even our young kids that dream of doing music and dance and being a musician. We can create a platform for them to be able to grow in before they get to that ultimate space, or just I want to be the bridge that mends the gap between those that have a hard time finding work in our industry. That
Mm.
still gives you that professional level, even if you don't become a a Beyonce, for lack of a better.
Yes.
So it's just an ability to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So we are taking our musical community on a time capsule series journey. So the
Mm.
first one starts with the 1960s, the Temptations. The second one is going to be rock and roll, Queen
Mm.
Aerosmith and Queen Aerosmith and Tina Turner.
Ah.
And then our
Yeah.
third is going to be um, music
Mm.
party movie,
Yeah.
a tribute to the house party movie. And
Ah.
then the biggest one, and this is the one that's going to, I can't wait to get to this one, The Wiz.
Hmm.
The Wiz is going to be next year. I
Wow.
am so excited because that production is going to be huge. It's
Oh,
going
I
to
can
be an
imagine.
orchestra. It's going to be, and that's the other part. We want to bring in all of those elements that really line up, opposed to substitutions for
Hmm.
the sound. We want to bring in those true sounds that made it and not substitutions. So
Wow.
um, we want all of the real elements, the harmonica, the strings, we want to bring back
Wow.
that time. So that's what we're working on. That's where we're going. And I call myself a gap filler. So I want to fill in the
Mhm.
gap for those people that feel like they want the industry, don't feel like they have a grip on it all the way. And I can be the middleman. Let me be the middleman for you. So
Mm.
audition for our things, be a part of our shows, be great in the space that you choose to occupy, whether it's with us or not.
Mm. Well, I
That's
think
what I want
that's
to see.
yeah,
I just
that's
want to see
incredible.
excellence.
That is fabulous. And I'm looking forward to that. The Wiz production, I know
Right?
that is going to be off the chain.
I see the glow in your eyes, sis. Yes,
Yes.
big time.
Yes, gotcha. I wish I could sing and dance. Well, I can, but not that people want to pay and see me. But,
'Cause look,
but
so Quentin, I gotta keep mentioning this man's name. You know what they call him?
what do they call it?
The Sound of America. You know how big that is?
Wow, the sound of
Like,
America.
you know how wide that is?
That
And
is.
he, he is because when you really think about it, when not to say when music really got started, but once we like got beats and things like that,
Yes.
he was the one cultivating all that noise.
Wow,
That
that is
whole
a
his
talent.
wheelhouse, they call this man the Sound of America. And if I read what I read about him correctly, his last production was at the age of like 90.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's the thing. That's one thing about creativity. You never retire from it. I see some of these artists that are still the ones that are still here. They're still performing. I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're still out there. And they still got that sound. So you never outgrow it. You never retire from it. When you have a talent and you're a performer, it's a way of life until you transition out of this life. That's what's so wonderful about it.
And
Yeah.
I do know that music does transform. It has we explore in sound and how we can make it, and also we always try to find a way to make it our own.
Yeah.
So I don't knock the musicians who are doing what they're doing. I just know that for me and my house, I need something a little different.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
and I hope that you all go on this journey with me because it's exciting. It's going to be a fabulous show. My guys are working extremely hard to make sure that they put on nothing but excellence for you, from the suits that they wear all the way down to the stage that they're in, the sound that we put out for you guys. So I hope that everyone who wants to come is able to. So, yes.
Yes. Well, we want people to go to Vibe Music Live and get their tickets today. And
Yes.
tell them you heard about it
But
here on the
isn't that
Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Yes. Yes. And I encourage more artists to rise to the level of excellence and take the example of those who came before you, because your music, your dance, your performance, all that you do, it has a greater meaning and it marks time. Music holds memory, and what memories do you want your music to hold? Think about
yeah.
that. Yes. So we
Yeah.
thank you so much, Mys Michelle of
Thank you.
Vibe Music Live. And we're looking forward to this event and many more events that I'm sure you'll be producing as a creative person with a vision.
You
We
know I'm gonna
certainly-
be back.
All right. Yes, absolutely. We'll be back the next time, and we'll make sure that maybe we buy some tickets in advance and give some out as some prizes and so forth.
Yes.
We'll get that together next time so we
I
can
love that.
bless our listeners and viewers with a ticket to your event.
I
Yes.
love that. I absolutely love that.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on Mother's Day.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the platform. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.
Thank you. All right. And thank all of you all for listening and watching. And come on back tomorrow, and you can join us here with Mama Africa's House. Until that time, continue to shine your light.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda.
Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.